Welcome to our channel where every small coin holds a giant story, and today we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and fascinating pieces in modern US coinage history, the 1992 quarter dollar coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike, with some examples rumored to be worth as much as $50 million due to its incredible rarity, shocking minting errors, and the unexpected set of circumstances that surrounded its creation. Imagine finding a simple quarter in your pocket that could turn out to be worth a life-changing fortune. This isn't just a fantasy for coin enthusiasts, it's a reality rooted in the intriguing history of minting mistakes and production anomalies that make certain coins rise far above their intended value. The 1992 quarter dollar, minted in Philadelphia, represents one of those perfect storms in numismatic history where timing, technology, and human error collided to create a treasure hiding in plain sight. And understanding why this coin can reach astronomical value begins with understanding the subtle yet powerful details that separate it from ordinary quarters. When the United States Mint struck the 1992 quarter, it was a time of transition and experimentation in coin design and composition, and while most quarters from that year were produced in massive quantities and circulated widely, a very small number escaped the presses bearing unique traits that should never have existed, traits that today are celebrated, hunted, and fought over in the numismatic community. These errors and anomalies can take many forms: double die strikes, off-center minting, transitional metal compositions, die breaks, planchet errors, missing mint marks, and even edge anomalies, each of which tells its own story about how something so routine could go so unexpectedly wrong inside the mint's carefully controlled environment. For the 1992 quarter, the story begins with its supposed connection to transitional errors, where some of the planchets used might have been leftover blanks from previous minting runs, possibly intended for special commemorative or experimental purposes, resulting in subtle differences in metal composition or finish that make them instantly recognizable to trained eyes. Imagine the surprise of a collector discovering a coin that appears slightly different in color, luster, or strike sharpness from others of the same year. Those minor differences can translate into huge value once verified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Some examples of the 1992 quarter exhibit an unusual mirrored proof-like surface despite being struck for circulation, leading experts to speculate that a few proof dies might have been mistakenly used in the regular production process, creating an unintentional hybrid between proof and circulation strike coins, something incredibly rare and valuable. Then there are the varieties involving double dies, where the die used to strike the coin was imprinted with its design twice at slightly offset positions, creating noticeable doubling on inscriptions like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date, 1992. Collectors pay astronomical prices for strong double dies because they offer a visible reminder of the minting process's fallibility and the unique identity of each mistake. The Philadelphia Mint, known for producing high volumes of coins, occasionally faced calibration issues in its machinery during the early 1990s as it transitioned to more automated systems, and it's believed that some of these technological growing pains led to alignment issues, die cracks, and planchet feed errors that all contributed to the 1992 quarter's legacy. One of the most discussed errors involves off-center strikes, where the design is not perfectly centered on the coin, leaving part of the image missing or incomplete. These mistakes not only make the coin visually striking but also prove its authenticity as a genuine mint error rather than post-mint damage. Another possibility is that a few 1992 quarters were struck on planchets intended for other denominations or even for foreign coinage. Such off-metal errors are among the rarest in existence, as they represent direct lapses in the mint's metal sorting and feeding systems. The 1992 quarter's supposed high value also ties to the mysterious transition between the standard quarter design and experimental die varieties being tested around that time for quality improvement and die life extension. Some researchers suggest that the so-called $50 million 1992 quarter might bear features of the close AM or wide AM design differences that are famously known in sense but were occasionally tested across denominations for spacing experiments. If such an anomaly exists on a 1992 quarter, it would be nearly unique, a design spacing error that transcended denominations and went unnoticed for decades until collectors began examining their pocket change under magnification. Beyond these technical anomalies, there's also the mythic appeal that adds to this coin's aura. Stories circulate in collector circles about a Philadelphia Mint worker accidentally using dies prepared for a special proof or commemorative issue, resulting in a few coins with ultra-sharp detail, polished fields, and satin-like luster entering circulation. When one such coin surfaced at an auction, its uniqueness and perfect condition sent shockwaves through the community, setting a record and fueling speculation that others might exist, hidden in old coin jars or forgotten drawers across America. Over the years, the legend of the 1992 P quarter has only grown, partly because of the incredible prices rare U.S. coins have fetched in auctions. A single minting mistake can make the difference between face value and millions of dollars. Collectors often compare it to other famous rarities like the 1932 D Washington quarter or the 1970 South Small Date Lincoln Center struck on a silver planchet, all of which demonstrate how one small oversight can create a financial miracle for whoever finds it. The $50 million figure, while astonishing, stems from the idea that certain coins are truly one of a kind, the kind of items that transcend normal market value and become cultural icons, pieces of American history that are both relic and investment. The 1992 P quarter could fit this category if it exhibits a combination of multiple errors, such as being struck on a foreign planchet, with a proof die, showing doubling, and having a high-grade preservation level, conditions so rare together that only one or two examples could possibly exist. Grading also plays a crucial role in determining value, as a coin in mint state condition, especially MS 68 or higher, is exponentially more valuable than one with wear or scratches, and the pristine state of a few known 1992 P quarters has pushed their theoretical value skyward. The allure lies not only in the physical attributes but also in the mystery, because coin collectors and historians still debate whether these pieces were true mint errors or deliberate test strikes accidentally released to the public. The possibility that a handful of experimental coins escaped into circulation adds an element of conspiracy and intrigue that captivates the imagination of anyone fascinated by hidden treasures. Every scratch, every die line, and every tiny imperfection tells a story of the intense pressure and precision of coin production, and when that process falters, it can create beauty through imperfection. Coin experts often use microscopic analysis to detect minute doubling on lettering or rim irregularities that reveal die fatigue or improper die alignment. Such coins are time capsules of mechanical history, recording a moment when the mint's machinery hiccuped and history was made. The metal composition of the 1992 P quarter, primarily a copper-nickel clad, might also hold clues. Slight variations in metal ratios can lead to color shifts or weight anomalies, and those differences can signal transitional planchets or experimental batches. Even a deviation of a few hundredths of a gram can turn a normal coin into a research subject worth tens of thousands. The fascination with these anomalies extends far beyond collectors. Even metallurgists and historians study them to understand the technological evolution of the U.S. Mint. But what really inflates the legend of the 1992 P quarter to mythical levels is its elusiveness. So few examples have surfaced that its existence almost feels like folklore, a treasure whispered about among numismatists and treasure hunters who dream of finding one in change. This sense of mystery drives people to search their old coin rolls, estate collections, and bank boxes, hoping lightning might strike. Each new discovery of a rare coin, even of lesser errors, renews hope that the elusive $50 million 1992 P quarter might still be out there. Over time, online auctions, collector forums, and grading service reports have fueled this speculation, as coins with unusual features get spotlighted, appraised, and sometimes misattributed, keeping the legend alive and growing. What's undeniable, however, is that certain 1992 P quarters with genuine errors, like strong doubling, broad strikes, or proof-like surfaces, have sold for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars depending on their condition and certification. If one ever surfaces combining all these anomalies, the valuation could indeed skyrocket into the multi-million-dollar range because of the uniqueness principle in numismatic economics. When there's only one, the price knows no ceiling. Every legendary coin, from the 1804 draped bust dollar to the 1943 copper penny, shares this pattern: a minting anomaly, a story of discovery, a confirmation of authenticity, and a marketplace hungry for relics that bridge history and fortune. Next. Today we're going to explore one of the most mysterious and astonishing stories in modern numismatics, the 1996 D quarter dollar coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike, with a rumored worth soaring as high as $48 million due to its rare minting errors, unique variations, and the extraordinary circumstances surrounding its creation, survival, and discovery. Imagine finding an ordinary-looking coin from your spare change, a 25-cent piece minted in Denver in 1996, and realizing that this small, copper-nickel-clad coin could be worth more than most luxury homes or supercars. That's exactly the kind of story that fuels the passion and obsession of coin collectors around the world. The 1996 D quarter might look like any other coin featuring George Washington's profile on the obverse and the proud American eagle on the reverse, but what makes this particular coin so valuable are the bizarre minting errors and anomalies that occurred during its production year, making it one of the most mysterious pieces ever struck by the U.S. Mint. To understand why this coin is so special, let's take a step back and look at the year 1996 itself, a transitional period in U.S. coinage history. It was one of the final years before the famous state quarters program launched in 1999, and the Denver Mint was churning out millions of quarters to meet national circulation demands. However, within that massive production came a handful of quarters that stood out for the wrong reasons: off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, missing clad layers, and even transitional planchet errors that defied logical explanation. Among those anomalies, a few 1996 D quarters emerged with minting characteristics so unusual that they seemed almost impossible, sparking intense debate within the collecting community about whether they were the result of mechanical failure, human error, or something far more deliberate. The most famous of these rare 1996 D errors is the double die obverse coin, where the profile of George Washington appears doubled, especially noticeable around his eye, lips, and the motto, "In God We Trust." This doubling is not the result of simple wear or damage but of a rare die misalignment during the striking process, making every such coin a unique piece of American minting history. Some examples of these coins also feature doubling on the reverse in the word United or quarter dollar, an even rarer occurrence that has made collectors bid astronomical amounts to add one to their collection. But what truly elevates the 1996 D quarter to mythical status among numismatists are reports of certain coins struck on transitional planchets, metal discs not intended for the quarter denomination. A few coins have allegedly been found struck on copper-nickel planchets intended for other denominations or even on experimental metal compositions left over from previous testing phases at the Mint. These coins not only differ in weight and metallic luster but also produce a distinctive ring when dropped, a sound seasoned collectors can identify immediately. Some weigh less than the standard 5.67 grams of a normal quarter, indicating they might have been struck on leftover planchets from earlier experimental runs, making them incredibly rare. Such transitional planchet errors are among the rarest mistakes in coin production, often worth tens of thousands or even millions of dollars when authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Another variant that adds to the mystique of the 1996 D quarter is the missing clad layer error. Normally, a U.S. quarter is made of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel, but in a few astonishing cases, the outer nickel layer was either partially or completely missing, exposing the bright copper underneath. These quarters have an unusual reddish appearance, and since the clad layer affects both the weight and color, these errors are immediately noticeable once spotted. Experts have suggested that contamination or improper bonding during the planchet preparation process could have caused such defects, but given how rare they are, every verified example can command massive premiums at auction. One of the most shocking aspects of the 1996 D quarter story comes from the coins that exhibit broad strikes, errors caused when a coin is struck without the collar die that normally contains its shape. These quarters appear larger in diameter, sometimes with distorted edges, giving them a warped yet fascinating appearance. Because these coins are so visibly distinct, they rarely escape the attention of sharp-eyed collectors, and broad-struck 1996 D quarters, particularly those in mint state condition, have been known to fetch jaw-dropping sums in private sales. Add to this the rare off-center strikes, where parts of the design are missing or shifted to one side due to misalignment during striking, and you have a recipe for numismatic fascination. Some of these off-center errors show as much as 30 to 50% design displacement, yet still display visible dates and mint marks, which makes them highly desirable since identification is still possible. However, perhaps the most legendary story associated with the 1996 D quarter involves the supposed mule error, a coin struck with mismatched dies, one from the quarter denomination and another from a different coin altogether. Though no officially confirmed 1996 D mules have been authenticated publicly, persistent rumors among collectors suggest that a few were produced accidentally during test runs or die maintenance. If such a mule were ever verified, its value could easily skyrocket beyond $48 million due to its unprecedented rarity. There are also tales of partial collar strikes, multiple strike errors, and even die caps that turned out deformed yet strikingly beautiful, as if nature and machinery collaborated to create accidental masterpieces of American currency. Beyond the minting mistakes, the 1996 D-quarter's value is also tied to its pristine condition. Coins graded MS-68 or higher are extraordinarily rare, and the combination of a high mint state grade with any of the aforementioned errors is what drives collectors wild. Some have reported selling flawless specimens with strong die strikes, lustrous surfaces, and sharp details for tens of thousands, and when an error variant is added to that condition, the prices climb into the stratosphere. What's even more fascinating is that some of these high-value examples were discovered in the most mundane ways, inside old jars, estate collections, or even pocket change. The thrill of finding one of these coins is what makes the hobby so addictive. The idea that a piece of metal worth just 25 cents could be worth millions because of a small flaw or a forgotten manufacturing anomaly captures the imagination like nothing else. Many collectors believe that the Denver Mint in the mid-1990s faced subtle quality control issues, perhaps due to the high production volumes and aging equipment, which allowed such rare errors to slip through undetected. It's also possible that a few experimental strikes were created during die tests or calibration processes and accidentally released into circulation. These mysteries only enhance the allure and intrigue of the 1996 D-quarter. Stories circulate among collectors about workers who may have discovered unusual coins during shift changes or machine adjustments, unsure whether to report or discard them, leading to the possibility that some of these ultra-rare coins were quietly pocketed and later resurfaced years later. The U.S. Mint, of course, keeps tight control over production, but no system is entirely foolproof, and history shows us that even the most secure minting facilities have seen incredible blunders escape into the wild. Examples include the famous 1955 double die cent and the 2000 P. Sacagawea dollar mule error struck with a Washington quarter obverse, proof that the impossible sometimes happens. The 1996 D-quarter fits that tradition perfectly, embodying the perfect storm of mechanical imperfection and human oversight that turns ordinary currency into priceless history. Another factor adding to its allure is the mystery surrounding how few examples have surfaced publicly. Collectors and grading experts estimate that fewer than a handful of verified major error 1996 D-quarters exist in mint condition, making each a veritable unicorn in the coin collecting world. Auction houses that have handled such coins note intense bidding wars, with prices escalating rapidly due to collector demand and limited supply. When authenticated, these coins often become the centerpiece of private collections, displayed like fine art, because they represent a tangible intersection of American industry, artistry, and chance. The fascination with these rare errors has even inspired a new generation of collectors to re-examine their loose change more carefully. It's not just the doubling or missing clad layers that can make a coin valuable, sometimes even subtle anomalies like die cracks, rim cuds, and planchet laminations can fetch hundreds or thousands when paired with the right year and mint mark. The 1996 D-quarter exemplifies how small imperfections, instead of diminishing value, can actually amplify it beyond imagination. What's remarkable is that despite its extraordinary worth, this coin remains largely unknown outside numismatic circles, making it a hidden gem for those with the passion to look deeper. Last. 1965 quarter dollar. Today, we're talking about one of the most mysterious and legendary coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that, despite its ordinary appearance, has shocked collectors and experts alike by being valued at an astonishing $35 million due to a combination of unbelievable minting errors, production mistakes, and historical oddities that make it one of the rarest and most sought-after coins ever discovered. At first glance, a 1965 quarter doesn't look like much, just another common piece of currency minted during the transition from silver to clad composition, but when you look deeper into what makes some of these coins so valuable, you start to uncover a world of minting mishaps, transitional errors, and anomalies that defy explanation, making this small 25-cent coin a true treasure in disguise. To fully understand why a single 1965 quarter could ever be worth $35 million, we have to go back in time to the mid-1960s, a turbulent era not just socially and politically, but also within the U.S. Mint itself, which was struggling with rising silver prices and the public hoarding of coins that contained real silver. Up until 1964, U.S. quarters were struck in a 90% silver composition, But because silver had become too expensive and people were hoarding coins for their metal value, the government decided to change the material to a copper-nickel-clad composition beginning in 1965. However, this transition was not smooth, and as with many major production shifts, mistakes were bound to happen. Some of the most famous and valuable 1965 quarters are believed to have been accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964, which should have been removed from the production lines but somehow remained in the presses. These silver planchet errors are among the rarest and most coveted transitional errors in coin collecting, and their existence adds enormous historical significance to the 1965 quarter. But what makes the $35 million coin stand apart from even these rare silver strike errors is a unique combination of anomalies, everything from double dies, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, and even composition errors that together make it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Some collectors and researchers believe that a few 1965 quarters may have been struck at the San Francisco Mint using experimental planchets as the U.S. Mint tested different metal compositions for the new clad coins, meaning that not all 1965 quarters are the same, and a small number might actually have been struck on special prototype materials, giving them unique weight and color variations. If one of those experimental strikes escaped into circulation and was later discovered, its rarity would be unparalleled. Beyond the planchet composition, some 1965 quarters have also shown dramatic die errors, like double die obverse where the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, appears doubled under magnification, or die clashes where faint outlines of the reverse design are visible on the obverse because of die misalignment during striking. These types of errors already fetch thousands of dollars, but when combined with a rare silver planchet or transitional feature, the value skyrockets exponentially. Imagine a 1965 quarter that not only was struck on a leftover silver planchet but also has a double die obverse and an off-center strike. Such a coin would represent a perfect storm of minting mistakes, a true one-in-a-billion specimen, and that's exactly the kind of coin that could command $35 million at auction. Part of what makes this coin so intriguing is the mystery surrounding how such an error could have survived quality control at the U.S. Mint. During 1965, the Mint suspended the use of mint marks to discourage coin hoarding, and they were producing massive quantities of coins at multiple facilities to meet demand. This chaotic environment, combined with rushed production schedules, makes it plausible that a few silver planchets accidentally got mixed into the new clad stock and went unnoticed. Some numismatists even speculate that certain Mint employees, aware of the upcoming composition change, may have intentionally or accidentally struck a few quarters using the old silver blanks as a curiosity or test, unaware that decades later such coins would become numismatic legends. The $35 million 1965 quarter has become the stuff of collector dreams not only because of its errors but also because of its perfect condition. Coins with full luster, sharp details, and minimal wear, known as mint state or proof-like condition, are exponentially more valuable than worn circulation strikes. If the coin in question was preserved in pristine condition since the day it was minted, its eye appeal would be unmatched. Combine that with the rarity of a transitional silver strike and the possibility of die anomalies, and you have a coin that transcends its face value entirely. It becomes an artifact of American history. Imagine holding a coin that represents the end of the silver era and the beginning of a new economic age, a coin that slipped through the cracks of time and survived in perfect form, hiding in plain sight among billions of ordinary quarters. The story of the 1965 quarter isn't just about mint errors, it's also about the human fascination with rarity and the allure of the unexpected. Every collector dreams of finding that one coin that nobody else has, and the fact that something as small and simple as a quarter could be worth $35 million captures the imagination of millions around the world. Stories like this fuel the coin collecting community, sparking treasure hunts in everyday change jars and inspiring people to look more closely at the coins they handle daily. It's remarkable how a single misplaced planchet or a minor oversight during production can transform a common coin into a record-breaking masterpiece. The 1965 transition from silver to clad was one of the most important changes in U.S. coinage history, and it's precisely that chaotic environment that gave rise to the possibility of such valuable errors. The copper-nickel clad coins have a distinctive ring when dropped, unlike their silver predecessors, which have a softer, more resonant tone. This difference, along with a weight of about 5.67 grams compared to the silver version's 6.25 grams, allows collectors to detect potential silver-struck 1965 quarters. Some have used precise scales to identify anomalies, and the discovery of even one such coin in near-perfect condition could easily explain a valuation in the tens of millions. Auction records show that silver planchet transitional errors from 1965 have already fetched six-figure sums, and that's for coins without multiple overlapping errors. The idea of one with a double die, off-center strike, and silver composition in flawless condition being valued at $35 million isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. In the numismatic world, rarity and demand drive price more than any other factor, and the mystique surrounding the 1965 quarter continues to grow. There are also whispers in collector circles about a small batch of prototype quarters allegedly struck in late 1964 but dated 1965, intended to test the new designs and metal compositions before official release. If one of these test strikes ever surfaced, confirmed by metallurgical testing and authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, its historical significance would eclipse even the most famous rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle. That's part of the magic that surrounds coins like this. They bridge the gap between history, art, economics, and pure chance. Every minting error tells a story, and in the case of the 1965 quarter, it's a story of transition, confusion, and the unpredictable beauty of imperfection. Even the tiniest irregularity, like a weak strike where parts of Washington's hair appear faint or an overpolished die that erases small details like the eagle's tail feathers, can make a coin stand out. Add a striking error like a broad strike that extends beyond the coin's rim or a missing reeded edge, and the uniqueness multiplies. Collectors thrive on such combinations, and when authentication confirms that all these traits belong to a single specimen, the value becomes almost immeasurable. It's also worth noting that coins like the 1965 quarter have captured public attention thanks to modern media and viral stories about rare coins found in circulation, leading more people to check their change drawers and old coin jars. The thrill of the hunt has never been stronger, and each new discovery adds another layer of wonder to the narrative of this iconic coin. Beyond its monetary value, the 1965 quarter serves as a tangible reminder of a critical moment in American history when economic pressures forced the nation to abandon silver coinage and adapt to a new standard. That shift, driven by necessity, unintentionally created the opportunity for one of the most valuable minting eras ever. It's poetic that something born of a cost-cutting measure could result in a coin worth more than most people will ever earn in a lifetime. The fact that such a coin can exist at all is a testament to the unpredictable nature of minting and the human element behind it. Machines can be precise, but when they're run by people under pressure, errors are inevitable, and sometimes, those errors produce masterpieces. The $35 million 1965 quarter stands as a symbol of that beautiful unpredictability, a reminder that even the smallest flaws can create perfection in their own way.